The man picked for a top security role in Donald Trump's administration is a children's author who believes the president has been persecuted and undermined by the deep state. Kash Patel, who had a meteoric rise under Mr. Trump during his first stint in the White House, is facing questioning from senators over his suitability to be the next director of the FBI, an agency that he believes has been fatally compromised by its own officials. Legal career. Announcing his pick in December, the president described Mr. Kash as a brilliant lawyer, investigator, and America First fighter who has spent his career exposing corruption, defending justice, and protecting the American people. He played a pivotal role in uncovering the Russia hoax, standing as an advocate for truth, accountability, and the Constitution, he continued. This FBI will end the growing crime epidemic in America, dismantle the migrant criminal gangs, and stop the evil scourge of human and drug trafficking across the border. Kash will work under our great Attorney General, Pam Bondi, to bring back fidelity, bravery, and integrity to the FBI. Mr. Kash, 44, previously served during Mr. Trump's presidency as a National Security Council official, a senior advisor to the Director of National Intelligence, and later was appointed Chief of Staff to the acting United States Secretary of Defense. He has called for any officials involved in the investigation into collusion between the 2016 Trump campaign and Russia to be stripped of their security clearances, claiming there is a massive list of such figures spread across the defense and intelligence departments. In a book entitled Government Gangsters, Aimed at Adults, Not Children, he argued that the FBI's top ranks should be sacked because the agency is so thoroughly compromised that it will remain a threat to the people unless drastic measures are taken. He has previously argued that its Washington headquarters should be closed down and reopened as a museum to the deep state, and gutted of officials who investigated the Russian collusion claims. Children's author. After leaving office, he penned a series of children's fantasy books for those aged 5 and older about deep state enemies who try to steal King Trump's crown. I believe it is important for everyone to know the true story behind the Russian collusion narrative, Mr. Patel said when the first book was published in 2022. This book is one way I'm doing my part to share the truth. Among its villains are Hillary Clinton, or Hillary Quinton, and her shifty knight, referring to then-Congressman Adam Schiff, who led the first impeachment proceedings against Mr. Trump during his first term. A sequel tells young readers that the 2020 election had been stolen by deep state operatives working to install Joe Biden as leader of the kingdom. According to the blurb, it is about how two inquisitive minds, Dinesh and Debbie, search for the truth and uncover evidence of a terrible scheme to elect Sleepy Joe instead of King Donald on choosing day. Why did the counting stop in the middle of the night? It asks. Why were there more votes than people in the kingdom? And what is up with all the glowing poo? Mr. Patel has a starring role in the books as the distinguished discoverer, shedding light on corruption in the kingdom. If confirmed by the Senate, he will have the chance to root it out. Long Island upbringing. Born in Long Island, New York to Indian immigrant parents, Mr. Patel first came to Mr. Trump's attention while he was working as a staffer for Congressman Devin Nunes, then the leader of the House Permanent Select Committee. He helped author what became known as the Nunes Memo, which argued the Justice Department had broken the law while surveilling a former Trump campaign volunteer during an investigation into alleged Russian collusion. Although he quickly rose to a series of senior intelligence and defense roles with the backing of Mr. Trump, the president was not able to follow through on his plan to install him as head of the FBI. Bill Barr, then Mr. Trump's Attorney General, fiercely opposed the move, while Gina Haspel, the CIA director, threatened to resign if Mr. Patel was appointed. Patel had virtually no experience that would qualify him to serve at the highest level of the world's preeminent law enforcement agency. Mr. Barr later wrote in his memoir,